Welcome back to the Music Marketing Podcast with Bertamo. Today we're going to be talking about copy and how artists can be using it to promote their music and engage an audience. I think it's a part of content creation that a lot of artists are missing out on. You're a big advocate for copy.
I'm super passionate about this topic, and mainly because musicians kind of suck at selling themselves. They're not very good at understanding their audience and what is going to make them listen to their music. And through text-based content, this is how you do it. And I think a reason musicians kind of aren't great at it is because you've spent all that time on making your music the best it possibly can. Why would people not want to listen to it? But there's a lot of competition out there, and you need to learn to not only write good copy and text, but learn to sell your music.
I think also because everyone's so obsessed with Instagram, YouTube, creating content, they forget that copy counts as content. They'll spend so long on a video, a podcast, and then the text to go alongside it will be the thing that actually doesn't get people to engage with it. And there's so many simple things you can be doing, spending more time on the caption, writing blog posts, the titles of your videos, all things like that we're going to talk about today. So should we start with Instagram captions? Because I think this one's a really important one that a lot of artists forget about or don't spend that much time on. What do you suggest for a caption? What do you think is important to include?
Well, firstly, I think a lot of people ask us whether you need like a big caption under every picture. And for me, I'd say as an emerging artist who's looking to grow, you really do. And I think one point before I forget is almost every algorithm out there, YouTube algorithm, Instagram algorithm, Facebook, Spotify, they're all working to keywords and they're all looking through the keywords. Even if you upload a video to YouTube, it is pulling all of everything you say and putting it to text and then finding the keywords for search terms. So with that in mind, yes, I'd say if you want the algorithm to pick up on your posts on Instagram, then you do want bigger captions. And Instagram is watching, so you're scrolling and people stop and read your full caption, spend more time on that post, then of course it's going to show it to more and more people because it's obviously good quality content. And don't forget Instagram, it's unlimited characters pretty much in that description.
Also what's so important is most people don't scroll Instagram with the sound on.
True.
So if they're in public, if you're sat on a train, you're not going to be that confident to put your sound on and just blast it out. So if you went over to our Instagram right now, you'll see that all of our content has very large captions, basically summarizing what's happening in that post, so that people that don't have the time or are in a situation where they can't have the sound on, they can still take in that content without having to turn it on. And I think for artists, that's so important because if you've created a video where it's like a behind the scenes tour video or something and people don't have the sound on, they might not enjoy that content in the slightest. And also if that caption's good enough, people will go back to it when they have the chance to turn the sound on. So I think that caption's a chance to engage your audience by sort of telling them what's going to happen in that piece of content, but also kind of pressure people to engage. So you can ask questions, you can sort of trigger people to say something.
And don't forget
so
that,
simple to do.
that little preview on like a lot of artists we see forget that there is a see more feature. So you're only going to see the first, say, 4 words of that post. So you need to make sure those first 4 words are something where people want to click that read more button, and it, like, if they don't, then they'll just scroll past.
I think that's a really key one. Also, while we're on Instagram, your bio. I think that's one a lot of artists also forget, and we always say that your bio shouldn't be the indie pop band from Bristol. It should be what people are going to get from following that account. So that could be tutorials, it could be cover songs, it could be behind the scenes of you as an artist and following your journey progressing. Because the worst thing when you go to follow an artist and it just says indie pop band from Bristol is what are you getting?
And then the link is just like out now, go stream the track. And it's like
sales non-stop.
I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions in the industry, is putting that link in the bio. Because one, if you go to the Instagram, you've already heard the music. You've already heard the music, and that's why you're there. If you haven't heard the music, you're there for the content. You're not there to go, oh, I'm going to listen to the music first before consuming the content. So you've got to really tell people what they're going to see by following first, and then persuade them to listen to the music, say in your stories or in your posts for that reason.
Copy also on stories.
Yeah.
You do this on your personal Instagram, Alex_Bertimo, little plug there.
Thanks.
You put kind of sort of blog posts on your stories.
Yeah.
Because again, it's unlimited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm openly experimenting with lots
Yeah.
of different content. We noticed that when we're doing talking to camera, if we don't give people a snippet of what is to come and what the topics are, they don't watch to the end. Also, I thought maybe you get more engagement as well, and this seems to be working by creating little blog posts in your Instagram stories and just giving tips for musicians. So say you're on the train and you want like a little hack on how to promote yourself, then of course you're not in a position where you can sit and listen to someone talking. But what you can do is just hold your thumb down, pause and read, and that's proving to be effective as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. You mentioned before about YouTube and how it's looking at keywords. A lot more artists are experimenting with YouTube, which is amazing because I think it's a fantastic platform to engage a really big following. What do you suggest for the descriptions for videos?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of creating videos, you need to there's a tag section in YouTube and people put all their tags in and it doesn't do anything. It hasn't done anything for years. What does do things is the description itself. Remember that the initial part of the description is what's going to be the brief kind of sample of what the video contains. So when you're searching the results, that's what's going to be displayed. And also the algorithm is going to look through that as well, and also just the subtitling and the title itself. So in a previous podcast, we mentioned that a great experiment would be, if you're an emerging artist, don't just put artist name and track title for your video, because nobody's going to click it, no one's searching for you, but they might be searching for other things, or you might get picked up by the algorithm if you get a high enough click-through rate. So if you write a title where everyone just can't help but click, and the thumbnail is perfect, like for example we said in the podcast, a $1 music video. People want to see what a $1 music video really looks like, and they will click it and watch to the end. So things like that are just so important.
We'll link that video below. It's about music videos in general. That's one of my favorite podcasts we've ever done. So yeah, I'll link that one below. Copy as well, which a lot of people forget about, is full blog posts. They are still fantastic. People do still read blogs. I think a lot of people don't think they do, but
no, it's
you
true.
really do, especially if you're quite niche in what you write about. I don't think anymore people blog about their daily lives. I don't think that's as popular, purely because we have podcasts, we have YouTube channels, and stories where you can just talk to the camera. Unless you have a very, very dedicated fan base, I don't think blogs to just tell everyone how your day's been is going to get readers. But if you have a niche area to cover, I think it's a fantastic way to engage people.
And Google is one of the most unbiased algorithms in the world. People think it's kind of just weighted towards like Wikipedia and the New York Times and things like that. It's not. If you pick a niche enough topic, then people are going to click it, and Google will rank you top for that search term. And then I think you were heading towards this, people will listen to your music
exactly
after reading your blog post.
So it's exactly the same as us. We've written blog posts and people then come across our website because we've written decent blog posts. But you can do the exact same. So say you are a guitarist and your music is kind of guitar-based music, you could write a blog post about playing the guitar. You could write about potentially you make guitars, you design guitars. You could do it about how you learn different guitar riffs, different hacks you have for playing the guitar. And if you start ranking for certain search terms to do with playing a guitar, people that are interested in those things are going to come across your website. And if that blog is hosted on your music website, they're going to come across your music.
Exactly.
It's the exact same as having an Instagram account where you're creating content. People then discover your music, same as YouTube. But with a blog post, you're engaging them because you're adding so much value.
And a quick crash course on SEO is have a good title, have a good description for when people are searching. When people click, make sure you answer the question and keep them on the website. And when they click off, they don't go back to the Google search results. So don't try and trick people to go there. And also just keep it niche. Don't try and compete with the competitors. So if you're going to write a blog post, search for it first, see if you can do better, or if the New York Times has done an article on it and it just comes up, you're not going to beat it. But if you can do something incredibly niche about an instrument or a songwriting process or something like that, then yes, you can rank for it and start building fans that way.
The way I always explain it to people that don't understand it is, you know, when you type in why you have like a cough or why you have something, and the top result is always like you've got cancer, you're dying.
Yeah.
That's because people click on it and stay on it.
Yeah.
So they'll type in, I've got a tickle in my throat, and they'll go on to the top result, and it's like, you've got throat cancer, you're about to die, and everyone's like, oh my god. So they stay on that, they read the full article, they don't go back and look at the other websites, they already think they're about to die. So if you can answer a question and keep someone on that page for so long, you've got them hooked. So like you said, sort of having a good title, but also putting images in there, having subtitles, having questions that you then answer within the blog post. All of those sort of things are going to keep people engaged. And if you have a niche area to cover, I think blogs are such a cool way to engage an audience. And also, if you're not comfortable in front of camera, you don't like taking pictures and things, blogs are super, super easy. I also know a lot of people that get the transcript for their podcasts and put it as a blog post.
I think that's a great idea.
We've never thought about doing that. I think it's because we ramble quite a bit.
It is,
I don't know if it would work for us,
but
I know a lot of people that have more scripted podcasts, and then they get the transcript and then use that as a blog post. So obviously you're just reusing the content, which is really easy to do. And if you're interested in podcasts, we've just done a video about podcasts on our podcast, and I will make sure to link that one below as well.
But also one thing I want to mention is going back to Instagram is we get a lot of DMs from artists saying, please listen to my music, and I think you've got to figure out what makes you different. And the only way of really seeing why you need to be different is seeing what we see, and that's just being bombarded constantly with people saying listen to my music, saying just like they've got a bot and they've just like copy and paste and lots of fire emojis, and it's all the same stuff. Like, why should I listen to your music? If you really want to sell yourself, you want to say having a really bad day, listen to my track, it'll cheer you up, or like suffering from heartbreak, my track will get you through it. Niche down and find a reason for people to listen to the track. It can't just be, here's a link, please accidentally click it and listen to my track.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. DMs obviously are copy itself. I found a lot of the people that message the Bursamo Instagram, the ones that I actually have listened to their music and spent a lot of time talking to them, is people that have actually sort of added value in return. So a lot of artists that have engaged with our content for ages, or they've sent something quite personal because they've watched our stories. Something like that shows that someone hasn't copy and pasted. And far too many artists are copy and pasting. It's so lazy. It's not going to get you any streams. It's not going to get you any engagement. And I think a great way to do it is going onto the person's account, finding something so personal. So you like the picture of their dog. You say, your dog is so cute, please play him my new song. Like, that is so much more personal than being like, stream a track. Because it shows you've taken the time to consider them as a person rather than seeing them as a number. Have you got anything else to add on copy?
I think ads as well. People always see artists running ads, and to be honest, like, you can't just do out now, stream my track. How many times do we hear people say, yeah, we ran Facebook ads once and got nothing back from it? And when we look at what they ran, and it was just like, stream this random artist track out now. And it's just, firstly, Facebook and Instagram are a terrible place to really do that. You want to try and raise more awareness. And secondly, just what makes you different? So again, when you're running ads, you always need to be thinking like, why stream this track? What vibes? Like, you always use the example of like running an ad to like say fans of the 1975, saying, are you a fan of the 1975? Check this track out. Something like that would get people interested. Use the targeting in order to create your copy. So figure out who you can target and then create the copy for that audience. Like, advertising on social media isn't like television where you're running the same advert to millions and millions of people nationally. You can run 200 different adverts with different copy, with different videos and different combinations to find the right audience for each person. And that's how you should be doing it, writing your copy for your audience.
I actually sometimes think the copy is more important than the actual content itself. So like you said, you can target the people and then base the copy on that. So it could be like, are you a fan of? Or you could be, are you based in Portsmouth? And if you're doing a tour in Portsmouth, someone that's there is more likely to stop scrolling. But I also think you can so easily start conversations, and ads look so much stronger and are going to be pushed out more and be cheaper if you're getting a lot of engagement. So say your song is quite political, you could write a full blog post above your promo video about that political message and what your political message is through the song. And you can actually run that against people that are the polar opposite. So the Trump one, for example, you could go anti-Trump sort of thing, get all that engagement, and that's engagement that you've got, and then you can run it against the people you actually want as fans, and it's already got engagement. It's going to start conversation, and there's no such thing as negative comments on these sort of things. Facebook, Instagram, they can't judge whether something's a negative or positive comment, so who cares? It's engagement either way. So I think the copy is one of the most important things that you can put on an ad, and you can also just try so many different types of copy, run that, all 5 of them, 10 of them, however many you can afford. The one that's performing best, put all your money behind it. There's so many like chances to just experiment with copy. I think it's a lot of artists forget about it. But I hope this has made you realise how important it is. And if you found this useful, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're listening to this as a podcast on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. I think we've got 1 so far.
Oh, nice.
Thanks to that one guy, Dad. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.